Graduation was only 3 days away. In 3 days, you wouldn't be seeing your friends every single day. You'd be working as a sidekick for a pro hero, you wouldn't be a student anymore. You couldn't help but feel nostalgic as you looked around the large barroom at your friends. Yao Mumu had convinced her parents to pay for US graduating class to have a prom. Your friends had begged you to go, even though you didn't really feel like it. The only reason you want to go to a dance like that would be if you had a date, but the only guy you were interested in going wasn't even going. But they talked you into by playing the "it'd be the only one last time we're all together" card. You walked into the ballroom and looked around. All of the graduating class from every program had been invited, so the room was pretty packed. You began making your way over the table to set your coat down when Ochako grabbed your arm excitedly. "Hey, listener," she said, a huge green plaster across her face. "Come dance with us." You giggled at her excitement. "Let me pull my stuff down. I'll be there in a moment." She nodded, seemingly satisfied with your answer, and retreated to the dance floor as you went over to an empty table. You shrugged your jacket off your shoulder and put your bag down underneath it. You couldn't help but run your eyes over the room to look for Shoto. Part of you hoped that he'd still make an appearance, even if it wasn't your date. You just wanted to see him. But when you didn't see his heterochromatic hair anywhere in the room, you laid that aside and made your way over to the dance floor. Mina quickly grabbed your arms as soon as he saw you, and pulled you over to where all of the girls from your class were dancing. You laughed as Mina lifted her arm above her head and checked her hips against yours. "Come on, quit pouting!" she yelled over the music. "It's a party!"
"Yeah,"
Tsuyu yelled in agreement.
"if he didn't want to come, it's his loss. Ribbit."
A small frown crossed your lips. Your friends knew all about your crush on Shoto, but you didn't want to talk about it. You didn't want to think about it. You wanted to enjoy one of the last time you'd get to have all of your friends in one place. Momo poked your cheek with both of her index fingers, pushing them up so that your lips turned into a smile. Turn that frown upside down, listener. You laughed, nodding as you pushed Shoto out of your head. Let's dance." You grabbed one of Momo's hands and raised it above yours, having her twirl around in a circle. You'd lost track of how many songs you danced until your feet began to hurt. "I'm gonna go take off my shoes, okay?" you told your friends, and they all nodded as you made your way off to the dance floor. You walked over to the table where you put your coat and bag and sat in the chair. You bent down to begin undoing the strap on your shoes, but paused when a head landed over yours. "Allow me," a familiar voice said. You looked up to see Shoto Todoroki standing over you, and your heart began pounding. You looked down at his hands, still over yours, and nodded as you gulped nervously. "Oh, okay," you stuttered out. He smiled at you as he knelt on the ground beside you, undoing the strap on your shoes gently. Once they were both undone and off your feet, he finally looked at you. "Better?" he asked. You nodded as a nervous smile grasped your lips. "Yeah, thanks." You stood up from your chair as he stood from the ground, and you looked up at him. "I'm surprised you came." He shrugged his shoulder. "I'm going to be honest. I wasn't really planning to, but Midoriya convinced me last minute." You nodded slightly, scanning the room for the green-haired boy. You saw him standing awkwardly on the dance floor, conversing with Ochako as people danced all around him. "Ah, there he is," you said, pointing in his direction. "You'd come to hang out with Midoriya." You were a little disappointed, but at least you got to see him. You looked in the direction you point and nodded. Looks like he's busy with Uraruka," he said. "Maybe I could spend some time with you for a little while." You felt your cheeks heat up as you nodded excitedly. "Yeah!" You sounded so excited. You inwardly cursed yourself. Do you want a drink? You shrugged your shoulder. I can get it. He nodded, and he followed you as you made your way over to where the drinks were being served. You ended up getting a glass of water, and Shoto got the same. Izuku and Ochako walked over to you, and Ochako secretly gave you a slight grin. Hey guys, she said excitedly. Todoroki, I'm so glad you decided to come. Shoto nodded his head. Midoriya talked me into it. Izuku laughed nervously. I wouldn't say that. All I said was Anyway, Shoto said, cutting him off. I'm not too late, am I? Ochako shook her head. There's still a couple hours left in the dance, so you're all good. He nodded. The song that was playing came to an end, and the pace of the next song was very different. It was so much slower than the popular dance music that had just been playing. Izuku turned to Ochako and opened his mouth to say something, but no word came out. Ochako seemed to get the message though, and giggled as she took his hand. Let's dance, Deku! She excitedly pulled him over to the dance floor. You nervously wrapped your arm around yourself, looking down at the ground. I'm gonna sit down, you said rather quietly. You didn't want Shoto to feel like he had to dance with you. You were pleasantly surprised when he grabbed your elbow. Actually, dance with me. You looked up at him, and you saw a rare smile on his face. Your inside began fluttering as you nodded. Sure! His hand slid down to hold yours, and he brought you over to the edge of the dance floor. He placed his hands on your hips as you rose up to his shoulder, and you began to gently sway to the music. You look amazing, by the way, he said as he met your eyes. You felt your cheeks sit up again. Oh, thank you, you said nervously. Being this close to him was so exciting, yet it was bringing out a level of anxiety you never felt before. It was so electrifying. You look great, too. He chuckled as he rose your hand above your head and spun you around before returning you both to your previous position. I can't believe we're graduating in a few days. I feel like we just met yesterday. You giggled as you nodded in agreement. Yeah, it's pretty strange. Although, even though it feels like we just met yesterday, it also feels like I've known you all my life. Your heart raced. You could practically hear it in your ears. Shoto? You said with a nervous giggle. He met your eyes, and you noticed a light blush on his cheeks. Can I tell you something? You nodded as you gulped nervously. Yeah, of course. He took a deep breath. The way Midoriya got to me tonight was because he told me you were coming. You raised your eyebrow at him questioningly. Sure, I told you I was coming. He chuckled lightly. That you were coming alone, without a date. So, lots of girls out here without dates? He told me this would be my last chance. He cleared his throat. This would probably be my last chance to tell you how I feel about you. Your eyes widened as you stared at him. Your palms were beginning to sweat, but you didn't want to pull out of the dancing position. Oh, your voice asked, cracking. His hand tightened slightly over your wrist. Listen, listener, I'm in love with you. If you died in that moment, you would have died happy. Your eyes widened even further as you stared up at him, at loss of words. The guy you've fallen so hard for loved you back. I love you too. You choked out. You were so happy. You thought you were going to cry. His eyes widened in return. You You do? You nodded as your lips spread into the widest grin. Yes, I do. He smiled. One of those rare smiles that always made your day better. A full-fledged smile, not just a twitch of the lips. Can I tell you something else? You nodded. Your hands knotting together behind his neck. Go ahead. His face flushed. I really want to kiss you right now. You swore your heart was going to explode. Then do it. He immediately closed the distance between you two, carefully gusting his lips over yours. No pressure was applied to the kiss at first as he captured your lips between his, but you tangled your finger into the bottom of his hair and pulled him closer, finally making the kiss happen. His arms around you tightened, moving up to your side and over your shoulder before landing on your cheeks. His thumbs slid under your chin, gently caressing the soft skin as his lips moved against yours, and the song ended. He slowly pulled away from you after the last note and smiled down at you with the widest smile you'd ever seen on him. I love you. You giggled, jumping up on your tiptoes to give him a quick peck on the lip. I love you too, Sho.
I gotta